What is up, guys? I'm just going to straight up tell you this is going to be a very different upload, and there's a very significant reason as to why I'm uploading today on September 10th. Let me jump in Krack'N and buckle up because it's going to be a long one. I gotta get some gas in this thing. Alright, I'll see you guys there. So I just jumped into the car because I was running out of light and I don't want to give you guys bad lighting. This video is to talk about September 10th, which is today. This day means a lot to me because it is World Suicide Prevention Day. And if there's anything that I know about suicide prevention, I've actually managed to save myself twice from suicide. My first attempt at suicide was in 2018. In November 2017, my grandmother passed away from gallbladder cancer. 2 days before my cousin's birthday. Losing my grandma was literally a sucker punch to the gut and the heart at the same time. It literally was just like a knife to the heart. And then my grandfather passed away from a fatal heart attack in February. I believe it was the 28th or the 26th that he passed away. I just could not get a grasp of what happened. I lost all control of myself, and one night I had ended up, I was at my mom's because my parents are split, and my mom and her now husband, back then it was boyfriend, were out doing something. I can't remember exactly, but I was home by myself. And they left, and suddenly my body lost all control. I vaguely remember walking very slowly out to the kitchen and going right to where the knives were. I grabbed the biggest one I could find and I put it up to my chest with the point right at my heart. And then I felt something. I felt something pull my arm away from my chest with the knife in my hand. And I felt my grip get lost. And I dropped the knife on the floor. I walked back into the living room terrified. I left the knife on the floor. And I sat down. And I have to do this because I'm going past. It's my grandmother's grave. It's a habit of mine. That night truly showed me that there was something wrong with me. That I was not okay. But I chose that night to not tell my mom about it. wasn't until well after my second attempt, which was a month after I had been in a serious car accident with the last thing that I had of my grandmother. My second time around was when my life was feeling like it was falling apart. I was losing my best friend. He was dating my ex that I had broken up with because I wanted to focus on myself. I did not want to put any mental stress on her. I wanted to better myself as a man before I even thought of a relationship. And that night, to call that night, the events that happened that night, an attempt, is maybe a little bit exaggerated. I had the idea to do it, but a shutdown, a full body shutdown, happened as I was literally about to do it. Again, I believe that was my grandmother trying to talk to me. Tell me, Jeremy, stay alive again. Don't do this. Stop. That's when I noticed I really needed help. I got help. I started becoming more open about my feelings, and I started to try to rebuild the friendship that I had with my friend Skylar, who was my then roommate. Chair, do you have to be like so noisy back there? Holy cow. Don't mind the chair back there, it's just gonna rattle away probably. But yeah, after that I got help. I started turning to therapy, and I started becoming vulnerable and open about what was going on inside my head and how I was feeling, how I was reacting to things, and I asked, what for advice can I get to make my life better? And it was very simple. I was stressing out too much over the small things in my life. I was taking every single negative that happened in my life, and I was making a big deal about it, even the smallest of inconveniences. And I was also told that I need to focus on positives. Stay positive regardless of what happens. Things will happen for a reason. Negatives happen for a reason. Life is never going to be easy. While that could be helpful for some, I do understand that it might not be for others. But for me, it was a life change. I basically started over. I cut out bad people in my life. I cut out all the bad mojo, all the bad energy, all the people that have done me bad and never apologized. And I started surrounding myself with better people. People that were smarter. People that were more in tune with me and actually cared about me. And this is where life started to turn around. I started to pursue further in my automotive, passion. I continued doing car reviews, and I actually started furthering it even more by actually getting a job at a car dealership, which actually turned out to be what I say is honestly one of my biggest saving graces from my whole anxiety and depression, because I had met a very wonderful girl, a very wonderful woman named Debbie. I found out that day that I was really not alone in suicide. At the time, my boss, Debbie, well, my coworker and former boss now, Debbie, had shared with me that her son committed suicide. I can't remember ago, but it was quite a while. And I felt a connection with her. I felt like she was a safe space for me to explain my thoughts, because she understood what it was like to go through such a thing. To this day, I look back at what happened in my life in my 2 attempts, and I am out here with 2 vehicles that are paid off, including Krack'N. That is an amazing vehicle. Has given me so much good luck, including something that I never thought I would be able to say. I've got a famous friend that is following me and is friends with me on Facebook, and it literally just happened today. It was completely out of the blue. I did not know what to think of myself, but my gut told me, go with it. And that's what I did. I've never been happier in my life after I got help. I started loving myself more and more. I started to enjoy my life a little more. I started putting good things back into me. I started taking very good care of my health, because I got really bad. And I'm working my way up. I'm in a position at this young of an age that is beyond what typical kids of this age are at. I'm in such a great position right now to actually succeed in life. And I'm going full steam at it with all the achievements I've had in my life, including 6 trophies that literally sit right behind me. And each and every single one of them, I believed I wasn't going to get. I am thankful for all my friends and all of my family, even if they've done me wrong or I've done them wrong. And truthfully, suicide has actually helped me realize how great life is when you have a clear mind. And I just want to say, for everyone that is out there struggling or has lost people to that dreaded word, I am very sorry you had to go through this. You've got my love, you've got my back, you've got my condolences sent out. In addition, if you are struggling, please, please do not be afraid to use the lifelines. Talk to somebody. It's okay to ask for help. Don't think that asking for help shows weakness. In fact, it shows strength. It shows vulnerability, that you can actually read your emotions and act upon them. Take my life. I could have been a statistic. I could have been one of the 700,000 people that die every single year from suicide. But here I am. All because I pulled through. But I felt the need to share my struggle with suicide and depression, because it is truly a disease. I personally don't feel that suicide should be just let go. 700,000 people per year out of 7 million is still too much. It needs to be 0. We need to make help more accessible to those that are struggling, instead of shunning them away or making them pay money to get help because they don't feel okay. So, with that being said, I'm going to wrap up the video today, guys. I greatly appreciate you guys watching if you stayed through the whole thing. Just remember that you are loved, you are okay, you will be okay, and this too will pass, and there will always be a light at the end of the tunnel, regardless of what your brain tells you, because disease or suicide and depression and anxiety are things that you don't come up with. It's what your brain wants to tell you. See you guys later. Keep on cracking. Peace.